Good morning. So, as I'm getting settled in this morning, I just, wait, I forgot to post it. But anyways, I'll post it later. So, from the video that I did, the other day, I was mentioning that I was in Proverbs. I've been looking into Proverbs and this whole concept or idea of wisdom, right? And I did it backwards because I started at Proverbs 2 for some reason. And then last night I started looking at Proverbs 1. And Proverbs 1, and you'll see in the TikTok that I'll post later that I did this morning. But okay. Verse 7, Proverbs 1, verse 7, it says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and discipline." So, of course, like these first two chapters that I've been looking at, it's been going into the details, the importance of having wisdom and kind of the intricate details of wisdom. And this verse, so in the commentary, is talking about wait a minute. Let's see. The foundation of knowledge is to fear the Lord, to honor and respect God, to live in awe of his power, and to obey his word. Faith in God should be the controlling principle of your understanding of the word, your attitudes, your actions. Trust in God, he will make you truly wise. So when I thought about that, I'm like, okay, so it's almost that thing of, okay, God. You can know God, but do you really know God? You can't access, and I was talking about access the other week. You can't access the power that God can give you. You can't access the blessings. You can't truly be able to take them in if you don't know God. And let me just put that into terms like, of relationship. Okay, so y'all know this guy, Kevin Samuels, this guy. Now, some stuff I can honestly say, okay, he might be, might have a point there, but some of the stuff is completely ignorant, right? And the people that are following him are completely ignorant. I'm not going to apologize for that because I truly feel like when you are spewing that type of stuff and you will tell a woman who has decided, one of the women had called in and she was like, well, I think she said she had children. She said that she was saving herself for marriage. So the man Kevin Samuels was pretty much telling her, you're used. Why? How ridiculous is it that you think a man is really going to wait for you when you've already had sex? And I'm thinking in my head, like, he does not know a woman. And so in my notes, I said, you can have knowledge of what a woman is, but you need wisdom to know how to love her. And it's the same concept. We can know God exists, but do we have the wisdom of how to respect and love him? So it's the same concept. It's like, and I love the commentary. I really feel like the commentary for this Bible, they are really, really shady. Like, shady in a respectful way. Like, they're talking dead bad about people. It says one of the most annoying types of people is a know-it-all, a person who has a dogmatic opinion about everything, is closed to anything new. And so this is just making me think about when we walk around and we're like, I know God, I have a relationship with God, but do you truly have a relationship with God? You can walk around and say, oh yeah, that's my bae. I love bae, this, that, and the other. But do you truly love bae? Have you taken the time to be in true relationship with? But just the, keeping on the theme of wisdom, and it's saying that is the foundation to truly access, to truly tap into wisdom. How are we to use it if we don't know who it's coming from? Wisdom comes from God. So again, I'll read that. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. And when they say the fear of the Lord, like it says in the commentary, The foundation of knowledge is to fear the Lord. Fearing him not as in, oh my goodness, he's going to do something, I'm going to get a whooping because I was bad or I sinned. But fear as in to honor and respect him. Like when they say you're supposed to fear your parents, not fear like, oh, I'm going to be bad. And, I had to write a penalty. I used to talk a lot in like, elementary school, and I used to have to write the little penalties and stuff. But like when you fear your parents, it's a reverence. You reverence your parent. Like, I truly love my parents for bringing me into the world, this, that, and the other. I respect my parents, That's what is meant by fearing the Lord, right? But anyways, I just wanted to hop on really quick and, just talk about that, because I feel like that's where we are in error sometimes, where we feel like we really know God, but then we have to sit down and question, do you know God? Just like in any relationship, you're in these relationships, but do you know these people? Do you know their love language? Do you know what triggers them? What, sends them back into, things that make them feel sad? Do you know how to truly love them? People feel like, like dishing out money or, being there and being physical with a person. That's not everyone's love language. And I feel like God's love language is to reach out to him. He wants us to acknowledge him. That's God's, in my opinion. Now, in the comments, I would love to hear your thoughts on that. What do you think God's love language is? Because I feel like that's what his love language is. He wants us to acknowledge him. He wants us to, God's love language is quality time. Because it's like, what is it? Five love languages. And you do the quiz, this, that, and the other. It was something else I was going to say. Oh, so the last thing I'm going to say, the for real last thing, I had posted something the other day about how somebody had sent me a message about, oh, well, you seem religious and, what do you do in dark times, this, that, and the other. I got a second response and I haven't posted it, but the person said, well, what did you do to deserve that? What did you do for... And I was like, huh? Because it kind of took me off guard. I'm like, what you mean? And I had to tell the person, I'm like, you don't have to do anything to deserve the grace and the blessings that God has stored up for you. What you first have to do is to reach out to him. Reaching out to him is what activates what you have access to, if that makes sense. So it's like, yeah, relationship with God, starting in relationship, truly knowing him, and then we could tap into that wisdom. So yeah, it's kind of like, I used to, okay, I know I said I was about to quit, but yeah, when I worked in a college and for undergrad, the students would come up to the textbook desk and they're like, can I get the blue science book? Are you serious? Do you see all these books back here? What you mean the blue science book? So it's that same thing. It's like you can't go to this unknown power, this unknown source, which is God, and say, God, can I get wisdom? How are you coming to me, asking me for something, but you don't know what you're truly asking for? And to truly know what you're asking for is to truly know God. We have to get to know him, because the type of wisdom that we think we're asking for may not be the wisdom that, like, we might think we know what we're asking for, but we really don't. But to know God, I think, is when you will know what you're asking for, if that makes sense. It was all over the place, but whatever. Y'all be blessed. Have a happy, what's today? Tuesday. Have a happy Tuesday.